So I've been messing around with a lossless scaler again. Someone mentioned in the last video that remote play is another feature that we could kind of exploit. So I've been looking into that and just seeing how we can do all of this without using a capture card, like I went over in the last video. So if you haven't seen it, watch that one as well. It gives you kind of like a good breakdown of how things should be connected. It is a superior method in my mind, but again, with this method, you don't have to fuck around with the cables. Works out quite nicely. So first thing you'll need, get remote play. Very easy to set up on your computer. Make sure you have a decent laptop, guys. Don't be trying to run this stuff off of like, the Intel iGPUs. It's probably not going to work. You need something somewhat decent, okay? In this case, I'm running it on a 1060 Max-Q laptop. So something around there will be perfect. You probably could go a bit under that, but make sure it's discrete at least. So once you get remote play, I'll put a link in the description. You'll get something like this to pop up where you have, your PlayStation getting streamed to your computer. One thing you notice straight away is that this is streaming at 30 FPS. That I think is simply because the hardware is just not strong enough to stream at 60. Also, just even in the menus, I don't know if the recording will capture this, but I don't think this is actually streaming at 1080p. And even if it is, there's a lot of compression artifacts. So just keep that in mind as we go forward. Again, with Lossless Scaler, what I've done is I've set up a new profile like I did with the PlayStation 4 capture card method. So there's another one. You can copy these settings. It's relatively straightforward. I have the frame generation set to 3.1. The mode, now we can set it to adaptive, which is quite nice. For whatever reason, we could only run it at fixed mode with the capture card method. The PlayStation, as good as it is, it still struggles to maintain 30 sometimes. So the frame dips that you experience, especially in fixed mode, will still result in a kind of, it doesn't happen too often, but it does stutter every now and then. Now, I'd rather have that at 60 FPS than be, a stuttery mess at 30. So I don't really mind it. Also, latency is a bit better on the capture card method. Anyway, I'm getting a bit off topic. Regardless, having this set to adaptive mitigates that to some degree. It's not going to get rid of it completely, but it does mediate the problem a tiny bit. So set that with a target of 60 FPS, flow scaling at just native. You can put this lower if you have a weaker GPU, but this will degrade quality. I wouldn't suggest going anything below 60. I think 80 is kind of the sweet spot. That's what I've noticed anyway. Capture API, at the moment, I am capturing with WGC. You can try DXGI, shouldn't really matter. Q targeting of 2, just because we need some frames as buffer for this adaptive mode to work. All of this stuff, leave that as is. Now, because of the streaming quality and kind of the compression, we're going to also need to use the scaling method here. In this case, from running around and testing all of these out, from my experience, I think BCAS seems to work the nicest, or look the nicest anyway, with sharpness maxed out, and we just have rendering set to default in the sync mode. Maximum frame latency, I just max this out. It really doesn't make a difference. Yeah, once you have that stuff set up, then you can simply switch to this. Let me make sure that this goes full screen mode nicely. Now, you can see even in the menus, not a nice experience streaming it. At the moment, I'm looking at this on a monitor, so I'm sitting quite close to it. Not the nicest, especially once we hit in game, right? Like, I can definitely tell that this is being streamed over the internet. This does not feel native. Latency-wise, at the moment, I would say it is about on par with what you would have just, doing the regular method of just playing it. Maybe there's like a frame or two more of latency, but picture quality wise, I don't think this is kind of the right use case for something like this. Ideally, you'd want to be streaming this to a computer that's hooked up to a TV or something where you're sitting quite a ways back, you know? Anyway, so this is kind of how it looks. I'll swing around for a little bit, give you guys the kind of the experience at 30 frames a second. As you can see, there are some drops that you get just because streaming itself is going to strain the system a little bit. Let's come up here, let's just swing around for a bit. So you can see it's quite smeary. I wouldn't really play this at this setting. And then if I just, I'm going to try to do it mid-swing because it kind of really shows you the difference. If I just start lossless scaling, and you can see the numbers have come up on the side, it really cleans up. Now, with the BCAS scaling, it has definitely improved the image quality. I can't say it's native or even, you know, is on par with the capture card method, but it's definitely a big improvement over just streaming it at 30 FPS with all the compression artifacts. Let me just switch back again. Man, the fluidity does feel nice though. Ugh, there you go. And you can tell immediately it's kind of meh. So let's change it again, bang. I guess that's pretty much it. Like at this point, in my mind, let's just get up on a roof before kind of talk. Oh crap, there we go. I don't think this is the best use case. I guess what I'll do now is I will hook this up to the TV and record it properly so you guys can kind of see what it looks like on a bigger screen. Don't really know how well they'll come through, but let's give it a shot. Okay, so we are finally all set up with the big TV. Currently I have the laptop just sitting on the left hand side and I have a controller hooked up to it. Hopefully you can see that comes across the screen. Now I'm in a bit of a weird situation here, so to kind of activate LS I'm going to have to kind of run to the laptop and then show you guys that way. Now this TV is quite big and I'm sitting probably about 1.5 meters away from it. The resolution on this is still a bit soft, I'm not gonna lie. It's not perfect. You can definitely tell a little bit, but granted this is before we do the BCAS scaling, right? So I thought I'll just run around here for a bit. Hopefully the Horicam's capturing all of this properly. As you can tell, latency wise, I mean, it's quite nice. I can't really tell the difference between having it, you know, as I did previously, like just streaming it on my laptop versus my TV. So there probably isn't much more of a delay. I have turned on like all the game mode features on this TV, so that should help. But yeah, definitely a bit soft. What I'll do is I'll continue to kind of swing around, and mid-swing we'll try to activate LS. So let's get a good thing going here. Then let's quickly shoot on here. Open up LS. Here we go. Scale it. And we get back here. And hopefully, there we go. We'll switch to 60 FPS with the BCAS filter, and Jesus, that feels so much better. That feels amazing. And to be honest, I really can't tell the difference in resolution scaling, like at all. Whoa, this is actually a life changer. Holy crap, I don't think this would be, I don't think this would work out this well. Yeah, this is ridiculous. So this is all just happening over the internet, or over Wi-Fi anyway. Definitely playable. Hopefully I don't know how good this capturing is gonna be, but man, latency wise, I'll try hopefully try to get the camera to catch the let me actually get up on a roof somewhere. Geez, this is amazingly fun. I am genuinely surprised at how good this feels. And good it looks. Geez. All right. So here we go. You can kind of tell that there is a slight bit of delay, but I don't think that's any different from if you were just running it without LS. I think if you were to say, look at just network latencies, it's probably about a frame or two, maybe about 30 milliseconds more. Now for that, some people, you know, that's make or break, but for me, for kind of what you're getting here, single player games, I love it. And it saves you all the hassle of the capture card and whatnot. So hopefully someone gets something out of this. I know I'm definitely going to use this moving forward, just to you know, be able to put things on the bigger screen. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys soon.